We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Okay, we are live with Anonymous Bites Back. Okay, so we will focus on the China-Taiwan situation, about riots in the Netherlands. We'll focus on what she called Kellyanne Conway, posting a nude picture of her underage daughter. And, well, probably a lot of other stuff. So, make sure you share it around. That's what we depend on. And thanks for listening.
India and China brawl as well. I forgot to add that. I mean, we ran out of characters anyway for promoting this, but the India and China situation is again escalated, so that's something we have to talk about as well.
Okay. Yeah, so and if you have like questions and stuff, use the YouTube chat for that. It is like in an alternative stream below the main post, because that's easier to chat in YouTube. So if you're specifically listening to because you have questions, or if you have something to say you want to say on air, then use the YouTube chat and we can pick it up.
All right. So starting out. After we discussed the whole Chinese
what's that?
Alright, sorry about that. I was trying to find the tab. So after we discussed the Chinese aircraft incursion with, I believe it was 8 fighter jets and 4 bombers over the weekend. On Sunday, when we took off, actually, there was another incident between the Chinese and Taiwan. And this time, a total of 15 Chinese aircraft, including 12 fighter jets, had entered into the southwestern corner of Taiwan's air defense zone, according to the island's defense ministry. And I mean, this was immediately following the other kind of buzz by the Chinese, where they buzzed by the Taiwan island. So this is showing that essentially China is not going to stop; it's going to escalate. And it's important to note, for context reasons, that this actually took place right after the U.S. had sent warships to conduct exercises in the South China Sea. And the U.S. aircraft carrier group sailed in the South China Sea on a freedom navigation, quote-unquote. This was the first routine operation under Joe Biden. And, they painted this as a freedom navigation type of thing. And, that's right after China said that they would shoot at foreign vessels, that they had legally authorized the Coast Guard, the Chinese Coast Guard, to shoot at foreign vessels in the region. So we had this military exercise by the U.S., and then we had another buzz by the Chinese over Taiwan.
Okay. I'm just sharing this around a bit. You guys also help share, please. Yeah, so China is showing some serious force now then.
China actually, or I'm sorry, the Taiwan Air Force actually responded to these drills, or whatever you would like to call them, with their own drills on Tuesday, where they simulated a war scenario showing that their fleet's battle readiness is prepared to, I guess, war scenario against Chinese warplanes. So that was today, and it's a key escalation that's now happening, and we're witnessing that, you know, the Taiwan Air Force is now responding, and they haven't responded in the past besides putting in anti-aircraft missiles across the country. So this is the first time that we are witnessing them responding back with their own drills.
Yeah, there was one time there was this story that they supposedly shot down an aircraft, but that seemed to be propaganda. There was like last year, like a few months ago, they said like a Chinese plane was crashed over Taiwan, and immediately all these stories started dropping that Taiwan should have shut it down, but their government website denied it later on that day.
Well, it's interesting actually, because if that did happen, that would explain the escalations. And like China would never admit that. You know, they don't admit any type of war moves. They didn't even admit how many soldiers got hurt or killed with India months ago. You remember that? When they said no Chinese soldiers were hurt or killed. I mean, that was obviously a blatant lie, but you know, they don't admit military casualties. So, you know, did it happen? It might have. And if it did, that would explain what's been going on in the past couple days, in my opinion at least. But I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah. Someone says he's pro-war with China CGP. Let's make it happen, Captain. Yeah. Yeah, I go ahead.
I was just going to say that wouldn't just be a small war. That would be World War III. I mean, like, if the Chinese invade Taiwan and go to war with Taiwan, the U.S. is going to back Taiwan.
Well, they have to.
It's not going to be pretty.
It's not just the U.S. I mean, it's also India, for example. But you wanted to talk about the India skirmish too, right? There has to something has been going on there too again.
Yeah, one sec. I have so many tabs open that when I go to switch, you know, it just completely crashes.
Yeah, I have that too sometimes. I hope it doesn't happen when we're on air again. Last time everything crashed.
Yeah, but it crashed at a very, very interesting point. Anyway, going back to what we were just discussing, Indian and Chinese soldiers brawled last week along the country's disputed border, according to Indian officials who said Monday that there's been a months-long standoff between the two countries, and the clash took place in the Naku area of Sikkim 4 days before the countries held a ninth round of talks to end the tensions in another disputed border area in the remote Ladakh region. So this is the same region that has been kind of going on for it's been months. Well, in historical context, it's been years, but in the context of the first shed of blood, it was decades, and that took place last year. So I mean, like, there's so much stuff going on between the U.S., China, India. There's stuff going on with Iran. We're inching closer and closer to a conflict. Where it's going to break out, I don't know. I'm not a psychic. I can't tell you. But it looks like it's going to break out in Taiwan. It looks like that's going to be the first point.
Yeah, but then there was also this story about, but it's totally different, about Venezuela. There was also stuff going on. It was Biden who now talked about Venezuela and the Guaido situation. Did you read anything about that?
No, fill me in on that. That's interesting, and that's horrifying.
Yeah. 1 second, I have to make sure that I have it right.
No problem. I also have...
I've seen
Go
it.
ahead.
I have it. Yeah, because it was from Reuters, January 19, that's a few days ago, and where Biden said that Biden recognizes Guaido as Venezuela's leader. So that's like a punch in the face. Yeah. So this is about Anthony Blinken, Biden's nominee for Secretary of State. He said Blinken told members of the U.S. Senate that Biden would seek to more effectively target sanctions on the country, which aim to oust President Nicolas Maduro, who retains control of the country. Blinken said the new administration would look at more humanitarian assistance. The United States recognized Guaido, the leader of Venezuela's opposition. And then Blinken said, who is appointed by Biden, he says, "We need an effective policy that can restore Venezuela to democracy." And you already know what that means, right?
Oh yeah, that means regime change. That means we're gonna invade Venezuela.
That's kind of like in Iraq, right? It will say like, "Let's bring democracy to Iraq," and then the bombers are going to fly. You know that.
Yeah.
Pretty much it. Yeah, the bomb. Like with the word democracy, they mean bombs with the sticker democracy on it, right?
Yeah, basically. I mean that, or we're gonna bring a tank that's the same democracy to your front doorstep.
Yeah.
In back to the news on China, I forgot that I even had this, and it's important. China's President Xi warned at the Davos World Economic Forum this week against a quote-unquote new Cold War. So, I mean, if you think that, I was blowing smoke and saying that all this shit is going on, and I think we're going towards war. I mean, there's himself saying new Cold War. Now, a Cold War is not a heated conflict. However, China has said in the past that if it comes down to it, they are not afraid to defend their sovereignty and their resources, and what they feel is their land. So, I mean, they are prepared to go to real war, not just a Cold War. But it's very interesting that Xi said this, and I'm going to read the quote here. So, he warned of a new Cold War, having largely curbed the speed of the pandemic within its borders, Xi wants to position China as a key player in a new multicultural world, multilateral world, as the U.S. remains crippled by the pandemic. And I quote, "To build small cliques or start a new Cold War to reject, threaten, or intimidate others will only push the world into division," Xi said in a veiled attack against U.S. President Joe Biden. Yeah, I mean, these are comments coming out of China. This is direct.
Yeah, you see, like, is it the war rhetoric, or is it like just showing like a clear message to Biden, who runs NATO right now? So just saying like, yeah, we're not scared of you guys. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because you are going to deal with a new policy for like 4 years, I think. I mean, maybe not so different after all, but Trump at least never went to war. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing he didn't do, right?
Yeah, exactly. That is like, yeah, surprisingly enough, he never went to war. It was close at one point. I mean, with that assassination of
in Iran, yeah.
Yeah. Could have ended into war, definitely.
Yeah, with the assassination of that Iranian general Soleimani, and the constant tweets at North Korea's Kim Jong Un, and basically saying that he was a little rocket man and all that other rhetoric. I mean, shit. We could have ended up very, very close to a fucking war with North Korea and Iran. I mean,
such statements are funny, of course, to make, but I mean, it is pretty serious. I mean, you're talking about the head of state, and like you're being called a little rocket man. I'm not sure he doesn't really like that. I think so. Yeah.
No, he said that he didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's not the way how you do it, anyway. Like, I mean, in diplomacy, you need to at least start with the level of respect, even if you don't respect the person. But yeah. Yeah,
Trump has no idea. And I mean, it's a good thing that he's not president anymore. But I mean, Biden is a complete shill for the establishment and the military-industrial complex, and this could get very bad, very quick.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, Biden, but Biden, this guy can't even talk in public anymore. I mean, there's clearly something wrong with this guy. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm thinking that Kamala Harris will be president in a year or two. So. Yeah,
I'm thinking the same thing, actually. It was very interesting. Not sure if you saw the video or not, but right after his inauguration, he's walking up the steps, and he's being told to salute to the Marines. And he doesn't realize that he was being told to salute, and he just says salute to the Marines, like he mumbles it.
Oh my god, yeah. That's what I mean. He's got issues, and this guy can't sit around with like other so-called world leaders. Like, I'm not going to say that they're world leaders. I mean, we all know that the real power is not in these political actors, I guess. But they have executive power technically, and he can't just sit around in these rooms with these people. They don't. This is just impossible.
It's just gonna be a shit show, just exactly like Trump's presidency was. It's gonna be a shit show. And I mean, this brings us to the next point. The stimulus bills that they're trying to push here in the U.S. is going to kill the dollar.
Yeah, because these are financial injections, and it's just printing new money, so to speak.
Right, and they've printed so much. I mean, they printed massive inflation in just the last year. I mean, they're going to now propose a new coronavirus stimulus bill, and they're talking about giving people $2,000, and I mean, that's great. Because people do need the fucking money. But at the same time, it's killing the purchasing power of the dollar, and now we're starting to see mainstream media catch on to everything that we've been saying about how the dollar is collapsing. And Bloomberg has an article here. It's called "The Dollar's Crash is Only Just Beginning," and I thought it was very interesting. What's going on with the dollar? Its value is literally plunging.
Yeah. So if you print new money, it's going to collapse your value. You can't just endlessly print new money. It's very simple, and you will see this in price rises of certain products. You can okay. So temporarily, people won't really notice it because due to these whole lockdown situations and things, the oil and these prices are being kept low, so to speak, because people drive less. So yeah, you have some tricks to use on that, but
no. What's very interesting, Mark, is while the dollar is collapsing, the euro is rising.
Yeah.
Now, right now, the world reserve is the U.S. dollar, right? The U.S. dollar is actually under evaluation levels of going back all the way to 2016. I don't have a chart to stretch this out any more than 2016. But it's very interesting what we're seeing in the charts. Like, I'm reading the chart and looking at it and seeing that we have broken through support that we established in 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. And we broke right through the support like fucking nothing. And, the more money they print, the less purchasing power the U.S. dollar is going to have.
Yeah, definitely. And they know this too. Now, but this is really difficult economics too, because then you can argue like, okay, so the national debt and stuff, because the money drops in value, the national debt also becomes worth less, right? If you were a smart economist, you would now, at the same time, put in your money in something else, like gold or whatever, and start buying the gold bars, and you have that raise in value while your currency drops. As a country, I would say that.
Right, and we're actually seeing that with Bitcoin as well.
Yeah.
Because people are purchasing into Bitcoin as a safe haven asset, and people are finally starting to understand that Bitcoin has a scarcity supply. It'll never have any more than there is, and 21 million. And gold can be mined, and people can find a whole new gold mine, randomly, and that would increase the supply of gold. But Bitcoin, you can't find a new mine for Bitcoin. It's a asset where how much max supply it is, and how many are going to be mined a day, and you have all these factors. I mean, it's just a better asset. And people are suddenly starting to realize that and jumping from traditional investments in gold into crypto and Bitcoin. And I would argue, just personally, that Ethereum is going to be a better bet than even Bitcoin, because Ethereum is basically the programmable digital dollar. And they're going to be using Ethereum for various different decentralized finance type applications. So, I mean, it's very interesting what we're witnessing happening with the dollar collapse at the same time as crypto is going up. Because we're kind of getting the scenario that many of the people in the crypto community kind of wanted to happen, where fiat kind of goes away and digital currencies or cryptocurrencies replace them. And then we're witnessing that. in the first early stages.
Yeah, definitely. That is what we're witnessing.
I just wanted to correct myself here because I said that the dollar actually broke through the 2018 support. It hasn't broken through the 2018 support. That's the last support that it has right now is 2018, and if it breaks through that support, that's when we're going to have a situation.
Yeah. So is it by design or not? Yeah, you can argue that, but yeah, what you can see, okay, so these money injections, and you have an economy that doesn't grow anymore because of the lockdown situation. So you're on, you're going to have a lot of trouble by what is going to happen now, because you need a growing economy to keep up with the inflation. Like the actual money that you introduce in the society needs to be actually used, and it can only be done with a growing economy, because you need there is a demand for more money flow, right? There are more payments being made. People get interest over their money, and they get like they make profit on investments.
Right.
So and there.
Well, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so that's you have a growing economy. So you have $1,000 Americans invest in the stock market, and they get like $50 profit. That $50 needs to be there, so it needs to be printed, right? So in the growth, if you have a growing economy, that $50 is needed. But if you don't have a growing economy, you only inject more money, and you don't actually need it in the supply, and that is yeah, that's the market concept, right? You have too many apples, and you only have 10 buyers, but you have 11 apples, and you have to lower the price of the apples, and then people start buying the low currency, the US dollar, and that means for that lower price that people start buying it, then the printed dollars are needed because these other people are buying these printed dollars. So you reduce the value, so these printed dollars are being sold. Pretty much it, right? So yeah, because it becomes attractive. If there's a cheap dollar at some point, if you reduce the price to a certain level, it's going to be attractive. I mean, there is Euro investors or Chinese investors think like, whoa, the dollar is like down 50%. Well, that's a little too much. It's supposed to rise again. I mean, it's a pretty big country, so I'll buy these dollars at half the price, and I just speculate on it growing again, right?
Right.
Yeah, and so then you need the printed dollars. But if that doesn't happen, then yeah, you're pretty much fucked.
Well, I mean, it's a cycle. It's like I think it's every 100 years a currency dies. I'm pretty sure that's the metric. I studied it before I looked into it, but I'm pretty sure that's the metric. Every 100 years a currency dies. So yeah, I mean, I think we're along that that time period, or way past it. Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're way past it by now. Because you got to think, when was the dollar actually established? It was with the Federal Reserve, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, we are past due. 100 years is typical for currencies to last, and then you know, something else has to replace it. And what they're going to replace the current financial system with is going to be a digital financial system. We all know it. We all have been talking about it for years. Some of us have been more privy to it than others. Myself. Like I said about how China was testing a digital currency before anybody like started reporting on it, and you know, I said that they were going to pilot a launch of a digital currency, a digital yuan, and you know, I was told 2019, ended up happening in 2020. Actually, I was told 2019, 2020, but I said that it could happen in 2019 when I put it out. So I mean, it ended up happening in 2020, which isn't a surprise, to be honest. So we know that that governments worldwide are shifting towards a digital economy, and things can get very Orwellian now, with the introduction of a digital economy, everything on a blockchain. It can get very Orwellian. But the the cryptos outside of the fiat cryptocurrencies are a way to decentralize and stay outside of that Orwellian potential, where governments can view every single purchase that you made with a fiat digital currency, and spy on people more than they do already. So, very interesting where we're going. I forgot to even mention this, and we have to go back to mention it. In addition to Taiwan being buzzed by China and the U.S. sailing through the Chinese South China Sea, we have China saying that they're going to conduct military drills in the South China Sea. Recently, just today, they announced that they would run a drill, and they did not say when they're going to do the drill, besides saying it's going to be this week. So they are getting ready to do a drill between January 27th and January 30th. So it's sometime this week. They didn't say exactly when they're going to do it. Just that they're going to do it, and this is the fourth thing that has, or no? Let me just count here. First the buzz, and then there was another buzz. Yeah, so it's the fourth or fifth thing that has happened now between China, the U.S., and Taiwan. Those are the three countries that you should be paying attention to, because those are the three countries that are kind of flexing their military muscle right now to each other. So yeah, I think that this is big, and China is kind of escalating things further than they have in the past.
Okay, there's like a huge discussion going on in the YouTube chat.
About what?
Okay, well, Trapcan says we've had a digital financial system for 50 years. 98% of money is digital. Ground control, he says, true, but government controls fiat currencies. Every time the US prints more money, as it's the world's reserve currency, they in fact steal a little from everyone who buys oil, grain, anything basically, as dollar is a standard. Yeah, and so that's also the huge problem, because the US borrowed so much money everywhere that other countries actually also benefit from keeping the value of the dollar up. Because if the value goes down, they make huge losses, because if it gets repaid in the exact amount with interest, what they borrowed, suddenly their dollars aren't worth shit anymore. So they get nothing back.
That's another good key point to bring up in regards to the dollar too. At the same time, when they're borrowing money from other countries and trying to prop up the dollar, if the countries are no longer going to be accepting the dollar for trade, that's going to pull down the dollar value. And there's several countries that have done that in the last 5 years. And they're big countries. Russia did it, China did it, Iran. What other countries have pulled out of the dollar in the past couple months? Or I'm sorry, last past couple years.
I don't know, but we know the big event with Libya, what happened, right? And when Saddam wanted to change to the euro, it happened big there too.
Right, yeah. Libya, Afghanistan was another one, I think, or Iraq. It was either Afghanistan or Iraq. I think it was Iraq. And then, Iran recently, China and Russia. These are big countries that are pulling out of trade with the U.S. dollar. And in exchange for what? The euro. And you see what's happening with the euro. In Iran, they said that they would replace the U.S. dollar with the euro. So the euro is going up in value while the dollar is going down in value. It's a very interesting observation that I kind of just made is a lot of these countries are replacing the U.S. dollar with the euro. I'm not sure if Russia replaced the U.S. dollar with the euro. I don't remember, but I know Iran did, and I'm pretty sure Iraq did when they nationalized their oil for trade. So I mean, we have multiple countries.
Nikkei Asia does say, that is from August 6th last year, that Russia and China ditch dollar and increase use of euro.
Right.
And then October 13, 2019, that already says that Russia is exploring ways to replace the dollar with euro. So.
Right. Okay. So I was right. Thanks for confirming that I was right on that.
Yeah, and also the Central Bank of Russia also dumped over 101 billion worth of U.S. dollar reserves.
Right. They're dumping treasury bonds in mass. All these countries that have treasury, that you have U.S. treasury bonds, are dumping them in mass, and that's going to pull the dollar down. So we have a perfect storm brewing here that most don't even realize is going on. You have all these countries pulling support for the U.S. dollar, dumping U.S. bonds. Those are two separate things. And then, on top of that, you have the U.S. Federal Reserve and the Treasury printing more money and devaluing the dollar further. Things are not looking good. The dollar is going to crash. I don't know when it's going to start really going into full-fledged crash mode. I would estimate sometime this year, or if not this year, it'll be next year. It's very interesting what we are watching happen. It's a shift of power from the U.S. to originally it was set to be a shift from the West to the East, but now it's just from the U.S. to the European countries.
Yeah.
And as the dollar value goes down, prices on products and material goods material wealth like gold and silver is going to go up. So, I mean, I've witnessed this over the past couple months. I said when the coronavirus hit, I said that prices on food is going to skyrocket, right? I was right. Because you understand the whole dynamics between supply and demand, and the more demand there is, the less supply, the higher the prices are going to be for things.
Yeah, I mean, that's what many people don't get. They actually think the food is getting more expensive for some reason, that suddenly the farmers are asking extra money or something. No, it's just, monetary the value is just dropping too. That is what you also have to
Right.
think about. And inflation is is just all the different prices together, right? So the oil price rising, there's a few main indicators to count inflation with, and yeah. So the coffee prices, oil prices, all these things, and that has to do with the money value dropping, and it's pretty clear because you actually see it directly happening. But now they use that what I said, like they use that trick due to the fact that you're in a lockdown and all these and there's a lot less driving going on and stuff. That the oil there's a little less demand for oil, so you keep that artificially down and you make it seem that there isn't too much inflation going on. But the second your economy starts running again, then suddenly you will see it heavily going on, and your oil prices will go through the roof, literally. And then people will think like oil is like rising, but it's not rising. It will go like 3 times the value it is now because it is going back to normal demand. But your dollar dropped like a huge amount. So yeah.
Right. No, yeah, that's exactly true. I mean, it's so interesting how everything is converging at once, because it's creating the perfect storm for a dollar crash. And I hope people are paying attention and actually like putting your wealth into anything outside of the banks. I mean, like, fuck, man. A quick story. I had just this week asked how much interest the banks the bank gives me. Now, I'm gonna read this. Ready? Get your prepare yourself for some wonderful numbers. All right, so total daily closing balance $0 to $5,000 yields an interest rate of 0%.
Oh, yeah,
$5,000 to $50,000 yields an interest of 0.050%. Not even 1%. Are you kidding me, banks? You can't compete.
No, they're completely useless.
Now, you would think that having $50,000 in the bank to $100,000, you would get a higher percentage rate than 0.050%, right? Wrong. $100,000 to $250,000, 0.050%. Same percentage. Going all the way up to even $1 million. If you have $1 million in the bank, you are only getting 0.050%. And this is supposed to be a high interest savings account. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, before we went live, I was discussing how, I put out a crypto there for everybody saying, I put out a call for a cryptocurrency at 60 cents, and it's now sitting at $1.13. Putting your money into crypto, like good cryptocurrencies that are going to go up in value, is more profitable than putting your money into a bank. Even if it's risky with some of these cryptocurrencies, in a long-term investment point of view, it's probably a lot safer than having your money in the bank where you won't get a lot of interest. Like, it's insane to me that they call this a high interest bank account.
Yeah, it's funny, right? But there is even some banks, like in Europe, that already have charged like negative interest.
Yeah, well, that's even funnier.
I'm not even kidding. They're charging that negative interest. Yeah. I didn't understand that either, because you could put it in a sock or something, or bury it on the ground.
Or under your mattress. I mean, like it's the fucking Great Depression again.
Yeah, why not? What makes the
That- I
bank
mean-
more safe? I mean, if there's a real problem, you can't pick it up at the bank. They're all going to stand in line, and they won't have the cash money anyway. So,
Right. Exactly. And that's a big key point too. Unless you're PayPal, you're not going to be able to pay everybody. If they try
Yeah.
to withdraw. Now PayPal could, because they are fucking massive, and you know they what did they do just recently? They jumped into crypto. Why would they jump into crypto? Because they see the future where everything's going.
yeah, and PayPal was, of course, brilliant, right? I mean, PayPal was brilliant because you got real money and you exchange it into a PayPal virtual number. That's also a super brilliant idea. But now I think they're a little more like, according to the laws, the Luxembourg banking laws. So yeah. What makes you wonder why are they following Luxembourg banking laws? Go check those laws out. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know much about that.
Yeah, no, it's a commercial company. They can just drop you out of there. The fact that they can just drop you as a customer for whatever weird reason is already shady. If you are not like a criminal, they could never be allowed to drop you. Just drop you out. Like have like a verification thing, or like when you send $1,000 to the wrong person, it fails and needs a further investigation. That's not how it works. It can cause a lot of problems if that happens. And you do that as a commercial company. They can do that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, we saw them cutting off people for trading cryptocurrencies, and they are supporting crypto now. What? That doesn't make sense to me.
Mad Mom is running to Steve. Steve is live on the SND for the vigil. What a great timing again, Steve. Seriously. Well, you can listen us back later, or you can listen Steve back later. Doesn't matter. He's a good friend, and do what you have to do.
Well, I mean, we can almost close this up. I mean, I don't have much more to speak about.
I want to talk about riots and stuff.
There is the two subjects about the riots over in the Netherlands, and also Kellyanne Conway. So I don't know which one you want to discuss first.
Oh yeah, we have discussed Kellyanne. Yeah, you know more about Kellyanne Conway, so we'll start with that one, I guess. When you told me, I was reminded of it. I saw something about it earlier, but yeah.
Yeah. So for months, her daughter, Claudia Conway, has been trying to get out of that house and saying that she's being abused. Sorry, I had to sneeze. So for months, you know, she's saying that she's being abused and trying to get out of this house, right? And, you know, everybody's saying that she's just making it up, blah, blah, blah. And then she releases videos of, well, they're very heavily edited videos, but videos nonetheless, where it appears to show that her mother is screaming at her, calling her various different names and different things. So that's the first thing that happened. The second thing that happened was just last night, her mother had posted a nude picture of her daughter on Twitter's Fleets. And it was up for about a couple hours and then pulled down. But, you know, she's 16 years old, so, I mean, that's like distribution of child pornography. So I don't know what the fuck's going through her head, or what exactly happened, if she was hacked, or if she was just posted it out of, like, disgust for her daughter. I have no idea, but she did post a picture, and that in itself is it's fucked up. So then her daughter posts after the picture is posted. Her daughter posts on social media saying she can't believe that her mom did this. Blah 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 blah. And today, now they're like, she deleted social media, and she's saying I'm going to try to get my life back together with my mom. Blah 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 blah. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but it was a trending topic that was going on Twitter, and there was actually a nude photograph that was posted by her mom. Now, whether her mom posted it or not, we don't know. We don't know if she was hacked. We don't know if the daughter stole her phone and posted it herself. I don't know, but yeah, it's just a weird, fucked up situation.
Yeah, that's totally illegal, of course, and also it's fucking disturbing that she would do that.
Right. Yeah, we don't really know if she did that or her daughter did that or she was hacked or, anything could fucking happen, but I mean, I think we could rule out she was hacked because, I mean, if she was hacked, you would think a lot more would be posted besides that.
Yeah, well, the fact something like that gets posted, that does point towards like abusive situations, honestly.
Right. And it's very interesting that she posted that right after her daughter posted the abusive videos that were showing abuse and verbal abuse towards her and all that.
Yeah. Now it's already, it's already a step too far. I think that her mom even has pictures of, or even has access to pictures of a 16-year-old daughter, in that sense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's a whole weird situation for sure.
Yeah. Ground Control says her daughter wasn't hitting herself in the videos, though. Yeah. Yeah, I know, like a mad mom, that's what I'm saying, that's already too far, right? I mean, what does the mom need even with nude pictures of a 16-year-old girl? I mean, this is something called like private life.
Well, I mean, in general context, I mean, a parent doesn't post nude pictures of their daughter. That's just weird.
Yeah?
That's not how you raise your kid. I mean, like, come on. But
yeah, so okay, that's a huge scandal. Again, voted mental issue daughter because of the mother. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we grow up in people like that. You get mental issues. Yeah. It's disgusting, honestly. These people, like, they all have like some loose screws, right? These celebrity politicians. This is like Kellyanne Conway. Seems like you have some loose screws there.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's all I can say about it. Like, it's not like it is a new war declaration of the U.S. against China or something, but it is like an example of how fucked up these people are actually, and that these people are actually deciding if we go to war or not, right? Because this is a former the presidential advisor. Yeah.
yeah, that's what makes things even more nuts.
Yeah.
I have one more topic that I just found after the Netherlands topic.
Yeah, I'll start about that after this topic when you
After what the
After
one
your
we're just now or the one I just posted.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, I can already. Oh, GameStop's ridiculous rise shows the meme stock market has arrived. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if you were paying attention or not, but GameStop's stock went fucking wild, dude. It went up like 120% in one day.
Okay.
It looked fucking like on a chart. It looks insane. Like it did something like Tesla would do. And apparently these traders on Reddit caused this. They were trying to short GameStop stock, and people were buying, and they just pushed the price up, fucking like to the moon.
Yeah. Yeah, it is weird. Okay, but those are kind of memes too of people to do that, because I personally am not interested in GameStop stuff. But I've seen you can also use Logic to invest. Like during the lockdown, I invested some money in Domino's Pizza, for example. Went up like what was it, like 220% or something during a few weeks time. And
Oh yeah.
and there were some others, and I just used Logic, and that's the fact that people can't go to the stores and stuff anymore, can't eat in restaurants, so they're all going to order from these companies like Domino's, right? So I used Logic on that they will grow in value, and it was right about that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could have flipped like fucking 5,000 and made maybe like 25k, 50k at the most, maybe a little bit more. So I mean, yeah, I mean, putting money in the right spot during the whole pandemic thing. I mean, well, I mean it's still ongoing, but when the market dipped as it did in March, you remember that big, huge, long dip? Putting money in the stock market there was, blood on the streets. Perfect time to buy. And what a lot of people don't do is they buy in markets when things are way up. They don't buy when it's way down. And they don't understand the concept of buy low, sell high. They buy high and then sell low,
Yeah. Okay, so now we're dealing with the riots here in the Netherlands. Pretty sick, to be honest. Yeah, so can I just explain it real quick? A government stepped down a few days ago, actually a week ago, I guess, over a huge fraud, huge corruption scandal. Actually, it was an automated algorithm that would tag a huge number of poor people who have the rights to get a subsidy, tag them as frauds, right? So they didn't get their subsidy. Like in a country, like if you're really poor, you get like a subsidy to help pay for your rent. You get some extra money if you have like a kid. Government helps you pay for things. But then this algorithm tagged thousands of people as possible frauds. And they had to prove that they were not frauds, and they would not get their subsidies. This caused a lot of people to get into debt and to get into problems, and so they protested about it, and eventually turned out that the whole system was fucked up, and the government stepped down over it. It was a big scandal. So then the government stepped down, but when they did that, like the same day, actually shortly after that, they announced a new rule in our country due to the COVID stuff, saying we're not allowed to be outdoors after 9 in the evening, right? So there's a curfew. And the last time there was a curfew was during World War II, right? There's like a war times curfew. And when the government is involved with such a big corruption scandal and then suddenly introduces such an oppressive law, which they're technically, that never happens. Okay, so we have a kind of like a rule in our government. When the government steps down, they're still they are still in control, right? They are still the government. They can continue functioning until the new elections, but they are not allowed anymore to take big decisions. That is like a gentleman's agreement. They can't propose new big decisions, but then they come up with this huge decision, and without much debate, it gets introduced. So that kind of hit people in the face. And well, the same night as the curfew started, there were riots everywhere. Like in all the big cities, people started to riot. And now, a few days later, there are still riots in the evening, and it is still, there's looting going on, and there's riots in the big cities, and they're burning stuff. They set a police station on fire. They set a building for vaccinations on fire. They raided Apple stores. They did a lot of weird stuff, and they chased away the police too with bricks. They threw bricks at the police, and the police literally went on the run. And also on the other side, you saw police using police brutality against several people. So yeah, it's really chaos in that sense. And now, yeah, the politics are debating about it again. So and now they're like worried they made the wrong decision. By that sense, I think the riots will continue for a while. And new political parties for new elections will of course run with this, right? And they will use this.
Oh, right, yeah, absolutely.
We have like 30 political parties. I think there's like 16 fighting for a place in parliament. 16 political parties. And some are like aggressively against lockdowns, and plenty are against curfews too. So yeah, those parties will run with this. Especially because now politics also uses a narrative that is very discriminating, saying this is like mostly like minorities rioting and stuff. That's the story they're pushing on it now. Like it's a group of minorities and hooligans, sports hooligans doing it, causing chaos. But no, there is like protests being organized too. Like even on social media, you see protests being organized, and so in that sense, it's kind of like the breaking point. People were even getting accustomed to wearing masks in stores and things, and somewhat agreeing with partly lockdown things and just wanting to get it over with. But then they get a new thing thrown in their face, and it's just too much now. That's the bad thing, because also like the numbers have been dropping here in our country for a while now, and that they're then doing it is kind of shocking, right? I'm not even going to debate if all these numbers are correct or not, but the official numbers are dropping for a while now. So yeah, it makes little sense to just do this now. No, we're probably not supposed to say that, but it's a political thing, right? No, the footage is not old, Mad Mom. The footage is from the last few days. Get new footage in every day. It's not old footage. There is one video where these, maybe you mean that one, where these undercover police are being exposed. That is a footage from the 17th, and it was just a major protest at the Museum Square.
Right, yeah, that was a crazy video you shared. I remember that.
Yeah, that was just a major anti-lockdown protest. It was not against these curfews. It was just shortly before that. But until this curfew, protests were pretty peaceful, to be honest. And there were of course, there's a lot of debate, and there's a lot of people saying like, yeah, lockdowns, fuck these lockdowns and stuff. But after this curfew, it pretty much like went like times 1,000, like really like burning stuff and looting, and I can't even blame them. They get pissed off, and these people are like, yeah, they want to like hang on the streets at night and things, and this is like large groups of people, young people, they just drive around on their scooters and stuff through the town, and especially in cities like Amsterdam and in cities like Rotterdam, these are like really. Yeah, these are cities where you can just, you want to have entertainment at night and stuff. So you can just like 24/7 life there. And then suddenly you get hit in the face like that.
Yeah, it was a crazy protest that's going on over there. I've seen a lot of the videos that were coming out.
Yeah, not being allowed on the streets is, for me, it's a little too much. Not being allowed on the streets because there is no. I don't think there's any medical basis for that either. So, just saying. Not like the virus comes out after 9, and second, actually being on the street, I think, is more healthy. Or if you're dealing with the virus, right? I think being on the streets is more healthy than being indoors, actually, together. Because yeah, the wind will take a virus away, right? I mean.
I mean, it's arguable, but I mean,
I was saying if you're indoors, you're sitting in each other's breath, pretty much, airstream.
right? Yeah. I see your argument and everything. But I mean, like, if the virus is airborne, which I mean it is, it'll carry in the wind. But I mean, obviously, being outside is safer and better than being indoors with somebody who might be sick.
Yeah.
See what else we have here.
Yeah, but they said that in London too, Mad Mom. People actually were laughing about that too, because they had like also like after 10 everything needs to be closed, right? And then they said like, yeah, but the fire doesn't come out after 10. It's not like it's special.
Oh, Pamela Anderson announced she was leaving social media for good. She's quitting all social media.
Oh, that's weird. Any special reason for that? Or?
She says that she's urging her followers to find strength and inspiration to follow your purpose and to not waste your time.
Okay, well that makes sense in that sense. It becomes a waste of time after some point. If you use
She said that she is happy with her life now, reading books and being in the nature. And she says she doesn't want social media to hold her down. I think, honestly, like, I honestly think all of her work to try to get a pardon for Julian Assange, I think it's tired her out. That's what I think. It's just personal opinion.
yeah, but what happened? What's going to happen to like Twitter and stuff then? Because so she posted goodbye social media like 10 hours ago, but the Twitter is still up. So why not just delete everything?
Right.
Can't.
I mean, she should keep it up just for archive purposes, you know?
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, people are leaving social media. Yeah, we can't blame them. I mean, yeah.
I mean, you're shadow ban, and you have all these other things that are going on social media. I mean, why stay, right? When, I didn't have my main account, I was discouraged from posting because there's no point. It's like, you're just going to ban my other account, like, eventually. And then randomly Twitter gave back my other account, and I was just like, what? I was like, wait, what? Why? It took like 6 months, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we covered everything for now, right? I mean...
Yeah, I just posted a new topic that I just found, that's interesting.
Okay.
Here's another one.
Millionaire's base as a must battle in space over satellite internet. I thought Google and these people were doing that too. Or am I wrong?
Maybe.
Oh, no, Google was doing the balloon thing. I think it was actually Facebook doing something
They
similar.
canceled that recently, I believe.
Yeah. What is this? Marjorie Taylor Greene endorsed execution of Democrats.
Yeah, apparently. I was just reading it. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking. Well, these people
So
are
she
weird.
ran for Congress, and before she ran for Congress, she had indicated support for executing prominent Democrats.
Yeah. It's old Facebook posts.
Right. Yeah. I just don't understand why people are so dumb to post, like, fucking stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
And then they have the goal to run for office. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's almost like always the wrong people are like running for office.
Absolutely, yeah, that's agreeable.
Yeah.
It attracts the wrong people. That's the point, you know.
It's weird. I posted like some videos of these riots, and they're going wild, right? They get so many viewers on these videos. People are shocked that there are these riots in the Netherlands. Sorry, but we've been riots in the 80s already. Where we're like, there are so many riots in the Netherlands. It's a country of riots, and it's just media stuff to say that we are all peaceful weed smokers. Just don't worry about that. People are used to riots, especially in a country in cities like Amsterdam. There's a lot of protests going on. They had huge squatter movements, and they would always fight against the cops and stuff. So it's just an activist community, and usually the police doesn't respond this aggressively. What they do now, they do use these tactics of like spraying water and stuff, right? That's like the most aggressive tactic they use. Like have like these fans with spraying water to like deter large groups, to get like large groups to spread out and stuff. So yeah, but now they're more aggressive. They're beating me in the face and stuff. It seems like a global protocol. You think so, AK? WHO protocol.
Yeah, global protocol to beat protesters in the face. Yeah, definitely.
Well, it's not Dutch tactics at all. I mean, I remember, people being so worried with like mass marches and stuff, and that the cops would stop it and things. So I remember in Amsterdam, we were just like two stoned cops always just walking with us, and they didn't even care. They were just walking there, right? And then when you would ask them, they would say like, "Yeah, we're just here to keep you guys safe." They didn't even mind. They didn't ask any questions, nothing. They didn't film anything either or something. So they weren't that bad at all in Amsterdam. But now it is it's a different story.
Yeah.
I know in other countries they go wild. They immediately start beating you up and stuff. But I still understand that that's just a different. I'm not going to say that these police are different. They just use different tactics. So because you have large crowd of masses in cities like Amsterdam, and the police. We don't have like a huge police force in that sense. So they use a different tactic of just de-escalation, right? And they will only do like a real serious stuff when it really gets out of hand. At least that used to be like that. But de-escalation used to be it. So you could do a lot of things. You could say a lot of things to these people too.
Interesting.
Yeah, you could easily you could just insult them and stuff. They would like they had like a very friendly behavior towards you. This is specifically Amsterdam, by the way. I'm not saying this is the same in other cities, but you could take it pretty far with these people. But now it is different. And they were also aggressive against people who were had nothing to do with it. Like I just mentioned the Domino's pizzas, right? And there was this guy on this scooter with like this with the thing on the back, right, with the pizzas in it. He was also being treated very roughly, but he didn't have anything to do with it, and they knew that. He was just a delivery guy. So they were like all like rallied up. They were like so angry that they wanted everyone out of the way. I saw that in these videos. One of the videos I posted shows it too.
Yeah. And the police, I mean, the same tactics that they do all over the place. Like you said, it's like a modus operandi for them. I mean, they infiltrate protesters and then cause violence to shut down a protest.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so that's what they also do, the Romeos. You call them Romeos in here in our country. Those are undercover police. They look like protesters, but they're not. They're dressed like protesters, and they instigate violence. Because police is not allowed to do anything against a peaceful protest. So nothing. Because this is in the Constitution, we have the right to protest, and even if they want to stop it due to medical reasons, they're usually not going to do that. Because it's a peaceful protest, and they will just advise you. They will come to you and say like, yeah, okay, you guys have to stand like 5 feet away from each other because you're going to all get COVID and stuff, right? That's what they will say. But now, peaceful protests they can't stop. So what they do now, they infiltrate with these fucking Romeos, and these Romeos start beating things up, and they start attacking the police. They're actually police, and they start attacking the police, and then the police responds with violence, saying this is a violent protest.
Right.
Yeah, but they're just infiltrators, and they just do this now. Literally, they do this in the open, and they get exposed to it.
I never actually heard the term Romeos until that video, to be honest.
I think this is a Dutch term, and it probably has to do with one guy who was like exposed once, and he was called Romeo or something. But I do know that we call them in Netherlands, we call them Romeos, and they're undercover cops. Well, there's a lot of videos being posted to like YouTube and stuff, and you can see them. You can see they're being exposed and stuff. And it's just normal people. Yeah. Okay, so Christina says it sounds like Antifa. Well, among Antifa you have them too, right? So you had like the G20 riots in the past, and there was a lot of legitimate anti-fascists and legitimate anti-globalists too. But yeah, then see a group showing up, and they all wear the same boots, and they wear all these black outfits and masks on, like everything. They hide their face and stuff, but they have all the same police-issued boots, right? And then they start throwing stones and Molotov cocktails at the police, and then suddenly the police starts beating everyone up, saying like, "You guys are violent protests, and you're all violent." Rioters. And afterwards you get them all and afterwards on social media you see them all getting exposed. Yeah, all the same police issued boots and stuff. Yeah, so agent provocateurs, yeah. Yeah, whatever name you call them, Mad Mom, just Romeos is fine. Yeah, the Romeos go home and actual protesters are arrested. Yeah, if they're not beaten up by these Romeos.
And in other news, we have here the Vermont Senator Patrick Lee, who is presiding over Trump's impeachment trial that's set to take place now next month. He was actually just rushed to the hospital and was tested for COVID because he said that he wasn't feeling good. So it's a very interesting situation that the lead senator on this impeachment trial is basically being tested, and he was rushed to the hospital. So
Okay.
oh, I got one more big story here. I think you'll appreciate me finding this.
Are you posting it in Discord?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's great. Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay, Ghislaine Maxwell seeks dismissal of criminal case, cites Epstein agreement. Oh my god.
Actually, I have three. It's basically the same story. I don't even know why. Like, what's going on at Yahoo that they have people writing the same three stories?
Yeah. So she has pleaded not guilty to helping Epstein recruit and groom 3 girls for sex in Manhattan in the mid-1990s and lying about it on the road. Her trial is scheduled for July 12th.
In the meantime, she's trying to seek for the dismissal of the case, saying that there was an agreement that was made with Epstein's previous trial in Florida, where she was basically waived of any criminal conduct.
Yeah.
Which that was an illegal plea deal anyway, and she should realize that. But it just shows the gall of Maxwell, or Ghislaine Maxwell, how she kind of feels above the law, and I can do this, I can do that. Oh, I can dismiss the criminal case because of the grounds of a previous agreement. I mean, come on.
Okay, well, I have to cover this more details about that Ghislaine Maxwell, because she's arguably even worse than Epstein. Lawyers for Ghislaine Maxwell said the indictment against their client was obtained unjustly and doesn't allege crimes specific enough to bring before a jury.
Well, remember, that's the lawyers arguing that, which is ridiculous that lawyers would protect a pedophile that groomed children. I mean, come on.
The thing
How
is,
desperate are you to protect this person?
yeah, so look, why am I saying that she's arguably even worse than Epstein? Because we aren't even sure that she did it just for Epstein. She is a girl groomer, and if she, for example, gets paid for it or whatever, she might be doing this for a lot of other high-level pedophiles too. And these people could be still going on right now with that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if that's her role, to be a groomer, then, and she makes, for example, a lot of money with it, and Epstein is dead, then maybe if she wants to continue making money, she actually does the same thing for others. That's what I'm just arguing as possible.
Well, she was alleged to be the brains behind the operation, the main person. I don't think she was the main person, though. I think it's bullshit. I think maybe the butler who said that, who ended up dying, I think that he might have thought she was the main person, but maybe the main person with the over Epstein. But there's people higher than just Epstein and her for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. We got Epstein is dead, suddenly dead, and there's something really unexpected. Whether he suicided or was killed, in both cases, it is perhaps to protect people. So, they talk about the huge organizations that still exist today. So, but this is like a huge story to cover actually. We did it in previous episodes during the Epstein when he died. So we do have these episodes. You can actually listen them back. We have a lot of more details about these organizations and what they're doing, and when you see what kind of high level people are involved, like Prince Andrew in the UK, who is right now just still walking around, right?
Yeah, no questioning, nothing.
No, they're protected.
You know, no, as long as they're holding on to Julian Assange, you'll never ever see Prince Andrew come to the United States.
No, exactly. Julian Assange is the canary in the coal mine, right? The canary in the coal mine. Like,
Well, that's why Trump was an idiot for not dropping the charges on Assange. I mean, that was total stupidity. They say that Trump is holding on to like 7 to 8 secret pardons that he did that he hasn't released yet, and he did it like the same time last day in office. Which presidents are allowed to do that? But I don't think Assange is going to be one of them.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. The secret pardon stuff, I don't understand that. I didn't even know you could do that.
well, Assange is a very influential figure as a journalist, and we can suggest that WikiLeaks has possession of a lot more documents than they're releasing, than have been released now, and there's a lot to talk about now. And someone who visited Assange in prison also said that Assange was very eager to talk about the COVID situation, for example. Now, you can argue also that these networks, like these pedophile networks, are also scared of certain information WikiLeaks has, because we don't know, and you can still submit information to WikiLeaks, and I'm pretty sure that during the whole Epstein case, a lot of stuff has been sent there too.
Well, we do know that they in the past have reported on DynCorp and a lot of the boy rings that were going on in the military and over in Afghanistan, I believe it was, or Iraq. I think it was Afghanistan, but so we do know that they have in the past reported on that information. But we don't know if they've gotten information on the Ghislaine case or anything like that. And it's in regards to Assange's pardon, or attempt of pardon, Trump said that he didn't want to piss off the Republicans. They had to vote for his trial, whether or not he faces trial, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's facing trial anyway now. So, I mean, if he wrote that as a secret pardon and is going to unleash that as because of, they voted for him, that would be an interesting move. And pardons Assange. And that's the two of the secret pardons, right? that would be a big kick in the gut to the establishment, the Republican Party, and the military-industrial complex. But he said that he wasn't going to do it because he didn't want to, have them vote yes for the impeachment trial, because he didn't want to go through another impeachment trial and potentially face criminal charges. So, very interesting. That I don't know if you guys realized or not. There was a report where it requested more troops to be sent to Washington, D.C. To conclude on February 23rd. Now, I don't know when the trial is for Trump's impeachment, right? But it would be very interesting if they make an arrest of a former sitting U.S. president, and they're worried about riots and all of that. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens next month.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the 8th is when it starts, but when it concludes is another thing. I imagine it'll take 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more, but
Yeah, whoever. It'll never happen anyway. I mean, this is all grandstanding. I mean, the Democrats want to make a statement. The Republicans don't want to hear it, which, but there's no way they're going to get 2/3 of the Senate to do anything to him anyway. But it's just all circus. It's a circus. I mean, what else can you call it?
It is, of course.
well, they approved the initial trial.
I'm trying to take that. Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead and okay. It's just it's all a dog and pony show, just a circus. There's no way. I mean, all they're trying to do is make a statement. They're trying to tarnish his name. It's going to amount to nothing. I wish Trump would go away forever. I wish Biden would go away forever. And we need to get rid of all these old 80-year-old everybody. I don't give a shit who it is. They're too old to be up in there making laws and stuff that, concern people in the 21st century. These people are from the early 20th century. I mean,
That's a good point.
damn. I mean, it's about time for some new blood.
No, that's a really good point. I mean, because we talk about how these politicians don't understand technology, and they want to try to put a backdoor in technology, put a backdoor in encryption, and that wouldn't work. It would create a backdoor for everybody, not just the government. And that's a good point. I mean, these politicians are too old. They don't understand the technology that they're dealing with. They think one way, and they don't realize that it's more of a broad thinking, and that encryption is there to protect people as much as it's there to be abused. I mean, it's a pick your poison, or it's a double-edged sword. I mean, it could be used for good, it could be used for evil. I mean, it is what it is. But we need encryption for protecting our data when transacting online and doing various different financial transactions. And if you put a backdoor in encryption and require it for the government, you will have way more leaks than you have now.
Yeah, but think about it. Like, even they're not even doing it for themselves. These Biden, they're just being manipulated because look at what is being leaked about. Biden's son being involved in corruption in Ukraine. Hillary Clinton's emails leaked. It doesn't benefit them to remove encryption either. Like, something is manipulating them, and they're just falling for these things. They're just because they don't even understand anything.
I mean, if they understood encryption, maybe they would have used fucking like Wicker or something, having these conversations, and they never would have came out. I mean, like, because you don't understand technology and you don't understand encryption. I mean, you had not encrypted communications that were sensitive over regular email without even an encryption layer. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
They can't even cut. I mean, these 80-year-old guys, they got 50 people doing their technology for them. You know, I doubt they even know how to turn a laptop on.
Yeah, I doubt that too.
Well,
The Biden guy, I don't think he knows how to put a laptop on. I think he can't even tie his own shoes at this point. Yeah, I'm not even political, but I'm just like observing the way these people behave, right? So on Trump, yeah, I never liked him either, but you can see this guy is still capable of doing business and stuff. When I look at like Biden, I see like someone who is obviously having some serious problems with his brain.
Easily control.
Yeah, but that's perhaps exactly what they need, a useful tool. I mean, okay, so you can say like, just to make sure that people don't think we're partisan pro-Trump or something, I would say like Obama was actually a smart guy. And was his president? He was a vice president under Obama. Well, if you compare Obama and how fast he was in talking and the way he spoke to people, you can like him or not, but he was a good speaker. Trump is a good speaker too, to be honest. Clinton and George Bush were also decent speakers, but yeah, this Biden just is not. He comes over as
Trump isn't a good speaker, really, man. I mean, you got it. I mean, be serious, Mike.
Yeah, he's a marketing guy. Look, if you look at the
watch
marketing,
one. I only watched a couple of his speeches, but I'll tell you, not a good speaker because all he does is keep saying bullshit until people applaud, and then he'll say it 20 more times. You know, and then he keeps rambling on until they applaud again.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. But I think like, okay, so but when Obama speaks, he caters to like the intellectual community, and when this Trump guy speaks, it seems on purpose that he uses like these super simple words to appeal to everyone, like these simple things, right? That every dumbass understands. To be honest, like you're appealing to the 100%. So you make it. Okay, so you don't just say the stuff that only the intellectuals understand. You make you say things in a way that the dumbest person in your country understands it. This is how you get that what a true populist does, I think.
yeah, and you treat your people like they're stupid, like he did.
Yeah.
Obama was created. I mean, he was invented. He was exactly what they wanted. You know, I mean, he was somebody that nobody knew, nobody ever heard of. You know, voted 100-time president, never voted yes or no on anything, didn't have much controversial, so they had to make some shit up. But yeah, he was a total tool of the left. I mean, he was totally controlled by money, and if you look at him, he went in there worth like what, $600,000 or $700,000 and come out worth $40 million. You know, I mean, you know where his allegiance lies. Trump, he's not that smart. You know, I mean, Trump just comes out there and is, you know, he wanted to tear everything apart. You know, but they both had their purpose. You know, one reached one side, one reached the other side. And Biden, he just kind of drifts along the middle, you know, and goes and, you know, really doesn't have much to say other than what they tell him, and then he even screws that up.
Yeah, Biden to me looks just like he's just like Kamala Harris' car. That's all he functions at, I think. Yeah, it's not even a Tesla car. That's not even a smart car.
He's a dumb car.
Yeah.
Oh shit, man. I mean, honestly, I see Biden stepping down and Harris being made the actual president. That's just my view on things. I don't think he'll make it. I do not think he'll make it 4 years.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
I don't think he will either. I don't think either one of them are going to make it 4 years, because I got a feeling that they opened a can of worms, like a Pandora's box, with this impeachment crap. That in 2 years, all these Q-tards and all these other people are going to get together and they're going to put Republicans in the Senate and Republicans in the House, and they are going to impeach Biden. They're going to impeach Harris and try to get the Speaker of the House to be president.
I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens. No. But that Kamala Harris, yeah, she breeds pure evil. Like,
That's an understatement.
yeah, no, actually, you look at her, and the things she says, like, this is pure evil.
It's hard to be a hoe.
Can we even say these things? I don't know, but yeah, no, I still have the conviction that none of these people are even any different. They're actors for this establishment behind the scenes, right? And Obama was a good example of that, by the way, like you said, also, Hans. That he would fit in an average Hollywood movie. You can just put him in there. Like a Warner Bros. Movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, Obama's pretty smart. I mean, he could put a little bit of emotion in it too and reach his audience. He could even go out in the country and throw a little country accent into it. And Trump's just go or stop. I mean, he was just balls to the wall at anything. I mean, build a wall, whatever, lock her up. I mean, that's all he had. I mean, but Biden, it's like I said, it's like watching Mr. Rogers, after he had 12-pack or something and don't know where he's at.
Yeah. But if you think about it, are these really the best people a 350 million people country can provide?
Apparently.
Where are the intellectuals?
I guess, man, we're hitting the bottom of the bucket, but I guess you got to be at least 78 to run, because they were both 78 or something, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I think you have to be 60 to run. I'm not 100% sure, but I think 60.
Oh, there is actually a minimum age to run. I didn't know that.
No.
Yeah,
there is. I think it's 36. I think it's 36 for Congress or Senate. The Senate, because Obama wasn't. He wasn't even. I'm trying to think. I don't even think he wasn't even 50 years old when he got elected.
He didn't have gray hairs at all. He had gray hairs when he left.
Oh,
You
okay.
would too.
I'm way fucking wrong. Holy shit! I didn't realize that. You have to be 35 years old to run for president.
Yeah, Pam Rowbottom just said it too in the chat, but president is 35.
That's what I thought, because that's what I was saying. That's how old you got to be in the Senate or something too, I believe. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, it's decent.
I knew
35.
36 or 35 was one of them.
Well, the reason I found it out is because people are saying for AOC to run for president, and she can't because she's not 35 years old. So, yeah.
AOC.
AOC's IQ's about 35. But, I mean, that, she ain't never, man, she got a little bit over 16,000 votes is all she got. Who the hell is this woman from some slum in New York? I mean, you got to be kidding me.
AOC, yes, she has so much anger in her behavior. Wouldn't want to meet that one in a dark alley, AOC.
Well, did you see what she wants to do? I mean, it's pretty Orwellian and crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if she ever gets president, I mean, you have to get out because that will be like the FEMA council will be changed into like something you don't even want to hear about.
Yeah, the only way she won was she got in with somebody that was an established seat, fighting another guy that had a lot of money in a three-way race, and all she did was catch the fallout votes. Like I said, it was just a little bit over 16,000 votes. She didn't even think she had a chance in hell of winning. You know, AOC was a mistake. She'll go away here pretty soon. I mean, yeah, she's a novelty, but that shine's wore off a long time ago.
I see so much anger, not the relaxed people.
I disagree. I mean, she's gained a cult following on the left. I mean, I don't think she's gonna go away.
Yeah, well, at least with
Yeah, but her cult following, there's that whole pack that she runs with. Got that, you know what I mean? But that's a little bit. Maybe in 30 years or something, you know, we'll have somebody like that. But right now, you can't go that far.
but you don't want.
Way over that left field.
You just don't want AOC in a geopolitical situation. That's not good for your country. I can tell you that. If you compare it to like Obama, for example, again, right? You see a calm speaker, a good actor. Compared to Bill Clinton, you see this laughing actor. He's a funny guy making weird jokes, right? Those are the people you need on a geopolitical stage. And even a Trump on a geopolitical stage, yeah, they don't take him too seriously. He says some simple things, right? But they know what they expect from him. But a person like
I mean,
AOC,
honestly, when it comes to Trump, like, we got lucky because he was a businessman, right? So he would do business deals with leaders. It was obvious. So I mean, you know, he might have made some like out there comments about world leaders, but he also did business deals with them.
yeah. Okay, so in the chat, yeah, we're just talking a bit about these personalities. I mean, we all realize that these are all the same establishment people. There's no big difference, but these are personalities, right? You just look at what kind of personality these people have, and yeah, when they are put in by the establishment, they're put in this role of executive powers, and they have at least temporary, like 4 years, they have executive powers. That is a pretty big thing in the US. Yeah, it's bigger than in other countries, to be honest, except maybe for in China or in Russia, but yeah. I mean, you don't have, like in here you don't have that kind of executive power. Every single thing you have to still debate. You can't just make decisions.
Right.
Yeah, but no, like, okay, so yeah, if you compare to all these previous people, right? Like, yeah, even Bush Senior and stuff, they had a completely different kind of character when you look at them. But this AOC is super aggressive, mean personalities. They want their way, and they will fight you if they don't get their way. And this is not the way. In geopolitics, you will never get your way. You have to compromise on everything. You can't just say to like Russia or whatever, we'll do it like this. Putin is going to laugh in your face, saying like, we control all the resources. Who are you even? So yeah. Wait, what about the Dominion lawsuit? Do you guys know anything about that?
Yeah, Rudy Giuliani got sued. Fucking Trump's lawyer, Lynn, I can't remember the last name, got sued. Some other people got sued, all who were talking about Dominion being involved in the voting fraud. It's a big lawsuit too. It's like 1.3 billion in damages.
I see that in the chat now too. Yeah. You can expect more money to come in on your Prime XBT, by the way.
I gotta log into that.
I put some money in crypto. I'm starting to trade again. Just saying. Mentioned the word Bitcoin. I was thinking like, okay, it's kind of low now, 26,000. I'm going to put some in it, and I'm going to trade on Prime XBT.
26,000. What?
Yeah,
It dipped?
euros. Sorry, not the dollars.
Oh, holy fuck, dude! You made me have a heart attack. Stop.
Yeah. Let me see what the dollar value is.
Oh, I thought that it just fucking plunged out of nowhere. I was like, oh shit.
It's 31.8 United States dollar.
Yeah, it's trading sideways right now at 32,000. Down 1% today, and 11% in the last 7 days. So I mean, it could break down, and we could go to, in my opinion, like 28, 26. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with the options expiring contracts at the end of the month for Bitcoin, and to see when the options expire, if the price goes down or if it'll go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to actually log back into that account. I haven't been in it in a while.
Yeah, well, with Prime XBT, it doesn't really matter even. I mean, the trades go so fast, so it doesn't matter if it drops or rises in value. Yeah. Let's see. You think they're going for Discovery? I bet Dominion will drop it when things get tight, flattening some curve. People want the establishment gone. Yeah, well, that's going to take a really long time, unless you have a People's Party taking things over. You have to make sure that's not actually going to be a copy of the PLA either, the CCP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, people think in these polar opposites, right? So you're going to attack the current so-called capitalist establishment that is not even a capitalist establishment anymore, and you're going to replace it with an even worse system of
Little do you know, right?
yeah. There's never going to be like a middle way in things. Like, people can't think like that. This polarization is so extreme. Have they even dealt with real capitalism for the last 50 years? I mean, yeah, you have the illusion of capitalism, but if at the top the money influx is controlled by a few people at the Federal Reserve, then are you even dealing with real capitalism? Because you have certain super wealthy figures deciding the value of your currency, and then you have these super corporations ruling over the market. Like you have like 5 oil companies dominating the oil market. You have like 5 internet companies dominating the internet market. A few insurance companies dominating everything. Like, where does it even stop? Even with social media, you have like three or four big ones now. Everything is yeah, it's a controlled market. Yeah, it is. But you don't have real capitalism anymore in that sense. You know, the real capitalism is, of course, like the hot dog stand in the street. Who can be against that? Someone wants to start a hot dog stand in the street and sell some hot dogs, and you can eat and you can buy a hot dog. Who can be against that?
Yeah, that's a good metaphor.
Yeah, but that's real capitalism, right? Because we had that other Antifa guy in too, and he was like saying like, that was your friend actually, that AWK guy.
Awkward, yeah.
No, he made
Awkward rap.
yeah, he made good points, but yeah, he did say like, yeah, we want to like attack capitalism. So I was,
Yeah, he's got good points. I just disagree with fully abolishing the prison system. I think it should be reformed, and I think that You know, some of these so-called crimes should no longer be crimes anymore. I think that we should only lock up violent people and, you know, like rapists, pedophiles.
I think it's also time. I think it's also time to take human rights out of politics. Like, you can guarantee some basic human rights, like the right to free speech, etc. Politicians are not supposed to judge over free speech at all. I don't believe in that. Like, we have our the basic right to health care or whatever, such things. They can all be provided in a capitalist market too. Like, you can provide some basic human rights needs, and then capitalism, in the open market you can go for luxury products and stuff. You can work hard for luxury products and all these things, but you can still guarantee healthcare to everyone. It doesn't have to be and it doesn't even have to be done from the government, because you can even keep it capitalist. You can even keep private insurance companies, but you can just say, when you make less than this amount of money, we have a jar where we have money in, and we subsidize you. You get some money from us. Yeah.
Right.
It's all how you look at it. And also has to do with like military budgets, where you spend 900 billion a year on military budgets, and that's pretty much just sending money from the normal people to Boeing and Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But the illusion is given that you are paying for it and it is disappearing somewhere. It's like paying for war, but you're just sending it from the small people into the hands of a few wealthy corporations. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. This chat is so busy all the time now. Duopoly calls are the problems here in the USA, says Pam Rowbottom. You know, just in the USA, look at the internet. Like, it's all like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. And then you have like a shitload of smaller sites that don't even reach the amount of people. Or maybe VK.com, but and a Chinese, like, what is like Baidu.com or something. But the rest of them don't even reach like more than the population of New York, which is like 10 million.
Interesting. There's one more topic that I wanted to discuss in regards to Vice. Vice has a documentary film where they are tracing down the origins of Q. And you know what? I don't know if it's going to be good or not. But supposedly it's supposed to air tonight. And yeah.
Okay. Maybe worth to watch. At least there are a few on it.
Well, they were talking about like Thomas Schoberger, Defengo, you know, the Microchip, Zero Hour, all of those people. So I mean, they seem to have done their homework a little bit.
Okay.
Some people helped them with information that was kind of behind the scenes type of stuff. So.
When MRO says, yeah, good luck with that, yeah. Okay. Not a big fan of Vice either. They said Anonymous was dead. Just like a day after the Million Mask March. Like, this was like a year or two ago, and it was like the largest Million Mask March we ever had. They said Anonymous was dead, and they put this guy on with this Anonymous mask, and he still had like the price ticket on. Price tag.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, we already know the origins of Q and stuff, so let's hope they vindicate that, I guess.
Well, I mean, we know it was passed around from group to group to group to group, and I mean, it was hijacked on 8chan after it was banned on 4chan, and it was hijacked by Jim Watkins and his son and Code Monkey. So I mean, we know the whole entire like graph of who was involved with Q.
Yeah.
All right, I think it's good to close up the show, and so I can go get something to eat. I'm starving, and I'm sure you got shit to do. Probably sleep.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we'll be back soon. Well, for sure Thursday, but maybe tomorrow too with like a shorter episode, and then Thursday we'll have like a regular episode because Tyler is back for Thursday. So it will be like a normal show. I mean, kinda missed him on air for a while now, so let's see what he has to do, what he has to tell us for updates and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been gone for like what, 2 months?
Yeah. Yeah, 2 months. I mean, like, yeah, he's been dealing with private issues for 2 months, and now it's finally he can be back, and I'm glad he is, to be. So, and Preston will probably be there too Thursday night. So, yeah, an old classic episode. Yeah, we all miss Tyler, Mad Mom, but he has been dealing with private issues. It is not that he left the show or something, but he needed to take a break, and he will be back Thursday. So yeah, he will be streaming too, I guess, and yeah. Okay, so guys, please help share it around. That is very important for us. I know, Pam, Terrence, yeah, there was some stuff going on behind the scenes. We're not really discussing in public, but we'll see if he gets back. Yeah. I noticed that Terrence is by the way, he is censored on social media. I try to like tag him in memes all the time and stuff, right? But Twitter literally hides his name. So I reply below his post saying like, "Here, you're still censored, dude." And yeah, so you can't even tag him in memes. There is something going on with his profile, because he doesn't have not tagging as a setting, because you see that when you have like, you want to tag people in, you see like these people can't be tagged in photos, you see it with their name, but he doesn't show up at all. You can try it. You can you type like Ter or Terrence in, and you don't see him in the list. So there's something there. Hey, you have to give the PSA, I think.
All right, remember to spay and neuter all your politicians and lobbyists.